just weird. He seems like he's drugged out.
Something's not right. So let's talk about this. Liver King is having a meltdown. The real question here is, are we really seeing a breakdown here on him, or is this like another PR stunt? Yeah. You know what I mean? They just did a documentary on him or something like that, or they're doing a movie or some shit.
They did a documentary on Netflix.
Well, they're doing a movie, I thought he said. Yeah. So that's kind of like what he's flipping out. So let's kind of talk quickly about what's going on and maybe watch a couple of videos.
Obviously, we don't know what they were saying in the courtroom, but they could have, like, the prosecutors could have painted the picture that she was, what do you call it? Not coarse, but like when you live with somebody for so long.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Like she was eventually like led to believe that everything was how it's.
I think they should have attacked Iran.
But
do you think they should have attacked Iran? The U.S. should have bombed
I don't know.
Iran. Do you think so?
I don't know. I don't think we should have done it on behalf of Israel.
Do you think, Cody, that we should have done it?
I told these guys last time. I'm torn on it. Like,
it'd be different if our intelligence said it was necessary for America to go do this, but that's not what happened. It was Israel, particularly Bibi Netanyahu. And here's the other thing, okay? October 7th happened right after they tried to indict him for whatever he's been doing, coincidentally. And then that kind of blew under. And then recently started to come back to the table, and then he did this shit to Iran again.
I think if it is 100% true that these guys were close to building a nuclear weapon, it's probably not a good idea, right?
I agree.
These guys, it's probably not a good idea for anybody, regardless, right? But at the same time, yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Ill Ego Culture Brands Red Tape Talk. I'm your host, Jon Ostos, a.k.a. Ill Ego CEO, and I'm here with my two counterparts, or should I say three counterparts, Dion, Two Cup Larry, Cody, Big Meat Malk, and Dalton, I'm doing dad shit, Nelson.
Every day I'm doing dad shit.
Yeah.
What's going on, you guys?
Well, it's been a few weeks.
Yes. It's been a while.
This is the one.
This is the one, yeah. New equipment across the board.
Yeah.
Had tons of technical difficulties. Weren't able to release the last two podcasts that we did.
True story.
So
it's about quality, not quantity anyway.
That's where we're at now. We're like, look, we can't release half-ass, technical issues and stuff like that no more. There's over 15,000 people
Dalton,
subscribed.
we haven't seen Dalton on here for a while. There's something big happened with Dalton.
Dalton.
You got married?
I got married. I got a
promotion.
I got a promotion. You guys can decide which is more significant.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy time the last couple of weeks. Like, I got married on Saturday, Sunday. I flew straight to Texas for work. So no time to nurse the hangover besides on the plane. So it's been
no honeymoon.
Weeks. No honeymoon yet. We're going to go in December.
Okay.
I'm too busy now over the summer, and like into the first semester is my busy season. So in December, when people are out of school, then I'll have a couple weeks off.
You went before or after AmFest?
After.
Where are you going to go?
Though. I don't know. We talked about going to Japan. We talked about going to Greece.
Wow.
Somewhere
Japan
far
would
away
be dope.
for sure. Yeah, Japan looks dope. I got a buddy who just went there. He sent videos to me of like, the sumo wrestlers doing that shit live, and I'm like, that looked crazy. So I don't know. I don't think I really like the food there though, so that's why I'm like Greece would be a little better. I gotta like what I'm eating the whole time too. Big food guy.
That would be the tough part.
Just find teriyaki.
Teriyaki.
Anything teriyaki.
Ramen
just
the
eat
whole
that
time.
shit.
I don't want to eat ramen for a week straight.
That sounds delicious. Why would you?
I don't want
I
that.
think they eat a lot of chicken.
I could do that.
They eat a lot of meat in general there.
It's like sushi though. Sushi just raw fish. I don't want to eat that.
Cook it.
You cook it.
I think Greece would be cool. I don't know though. I
guess if you like gyros.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what else do they even have?
I don't like those.
Good.
I don't like those things at all.
They got more options than just
that's bubblegum city
noodles.
there.
Oh, dude, it's all good.
Yeah, you love bubblegum. Yeah, it's like your forte,
cheese, baby.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. We got a lot of options. Definitely something far away and something crazy.
Italy was really fun.
Yeah, that's cool too. I kind of worry about because we talked about going to like Germany and seeing concentration camps and stuff, which I think that'd be awesome. Too. But I wonder, this is just me overthinking, but which one of these countries is like the most racist? So I don't want to go there.
Italy wasn't racist at all.
Not that like, I mean, my wife is white, so like,
Dude, those European countries
They
are
are
fucking like super liberal now, except for Poland.
oh yeah, it's true.
Maybe
Europe-
stay away from Poland.
I just was told a story yesterday or today. Well, Laura from the gym, her family's in Norway right now, and they were I don't know, they were like moving from the hotel or something like that, and one of the guys that was with them and their family was like pulling all his luggage out of his taxi cab or whatever, or his Uber. And some random dude just jumped on him, was attacking him and screaming, "Get out of here. We don't want you here." And like just freaking out on this dude. And like she posted this on Facebook and was just like, what the hell? And everyone started commenting on it, being like, yeah, they hate Trump over there and they don't want any Americans there. This is what Trump has done to the world and blah, like went on this whole rant. I'm just like,
Oh, sure.
they love Trump in other nations. They just won't show you that on the media, bro. You know what I mean? Because the left, they control the media. So
It was
just weird though. It's just like, come on, that's not, he didn't say nothing about Trump. They just assumed that for him. That's why the dude attacked him. Like he was probably just a rando fucking crackhead or some shit, you know what I mean? Or maybe a immigrant to there himself, you know, or something. Who knows?
Even like she wants to go, or she want to go like to safari to Africa, and I'm like, God, I feel like Africa is kind of scary right now. Like
that was the first thing I was looking at.
Yeah, they don't
when I
like
was
white
at
people in
honeymoons.
Africa right now.
yeah,
bro.
they're killing all the white people.
Mhm.
She's white. I mean, I'll probably
complete
I'm
white
not even
genocide
dark enough.
there.
They'll probably kill me too.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
way too light.
You
to
might get
survive
dark
over
quick
there.
though out there with the
I know.
sun being so
Lucky,
cold.
yeah. If I'm lucky, I get tan really fast and they don't kill me.
I think the safari would be the coolest thing. It was pretty pricey when I was looking at it, but it would be something I would do that. And I also think that Germany would be really cool.
I think Germany would be cool too. The concentration camps, seeing all the history there, that'd be awesome. I love museums and history and shit like that. So that'd be really cool. But I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, we have the whole world to look at.
Yeah. Hawaii would be fun if you like really tried to get into like a crowd of people that might not hate you, but that people do hate you there. I'll be
Yeah, they hate
honest.
tourists.
Yeah.
I've heard.
But the people that work at the places don't hate tourists.
Well,
Like,
see, at that point, I could it might almost be cheaper just to go down to like Punta Cana, Mexico, and just, you know, it's like $1,000 for a week per person, all inclusive. But I've heard that's just like the cheapest.
yeah,
shittiest
you could do that.
all-inclusive.
You could do that any time in your life. I feel like so. I wouldn't recommend that for a honeymoon.
Yeah. Now you're probably right.
Go to Mauritius, Africa, bro.
I don't do that. You
killing
get just
people there?
bugs and
Nah,
shit.
they're not killing people there. That place is dope, bro.
It's just bugs.
You been there?
No, John just
You
tells
been
us
there?
about how he got sick there, and that's all I can.
Yeah,
think
but I was there
of.
for 8 months. I practically lived there, bro.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So of course I'm gonna catch things while I'm there, you know.
That's like the only story.
I got their version of West Nile virus when I was
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it was
sounds like
like
you're about to
it has a
die.
weird name. It was like
He was.
chikungunya or some
What'd you
weird
do
shit
for
like
work
that.
there?
I trained people on airline reservation systems, so I traveled the world like training classes for customer service and teaching them how to use different airline reservation systems. So like whenever you call an airline, you call someone in India or Mauritius or something like that. They had a big call center. They called it the Cyber Island because
So
they had
did
like
you ever go to a country that you felt people were extra racist?
mm-mm.
No.
They loved me everywhere I went. And especially if they knew I was American, they loved Americans, bro.
I feel like as long as you're not obnoxious, like this lady walked into a store we were in, and the Italian woman turned up the music like really loud, and she was like, "Why is the music so loud in here?" And she's like talking on the phone all loud, and like they don't like that, you know. But like being just me and my wife, no one said anything to us. No one like looked at us badly, you know. Like I didn't feel out of place. And there's a ton of different races there. Like there was a lot of Asian people, a lot of French people, which was weird. But like you don't know who's who and what's what, so you just do what you do and try not to disrespect people. But like honestly, I felt more disrespected there than I do in the United States.
More
where-
disrespected?
yeah, like where people are walking like really close to me, but that's just what they do, even though there's no need for it. Like that pisses me off. I don't like when people get close to me for no reason. So I get
Oh yeah, I agree.
like during the busy season, it's not. I wouldn't go there, not ever.
That's interesting. I mean, like I could see myself not liking that too. People getting all up in your business because that's just like normal over there.
Yeah.
We're here, you'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, get them to move. But then, like, I don't know. That's just normal here.
I feel like New York. Like if you went there, it'd be busy.
Yeah. Oh, don't even start about New York now. That's like the worst place in the world right now.
And I want to go there to eat, but that's it.
I don't
And
wanna go there
Then I just
ever.
want to
I'm
leave.
I've
never
been,
do
through,
that.
I've been through New York like on my travels and stuff, man, and I've had to like do stopovers there. I hate that place, bro.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the people there are just
I can't see me
bad.
liking that.
I'll
place.
get in a fight if I had
I
to
would
be there
hate it.
longer than fucking overnight, bro.
I think they were rated like the most, the rudest.
They are
rudest people,
bro. Every time even in the airport, I would like when I first got to New York, I was hungry. I just gotten off of like a 30 or a 13-hour flight. You know what I mean? So I went straight to the airport. I'm like, I got to get something to eat before I get on, or go head to my hotel. And you go right up to the counter, and there's all these people standing there to serve you. And as soon as I get up, they're like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And I was just like, "Oh,
yeah, what do you want?
I'm not doing this, man. Like, no way."
I just listened to a podcast yesterday.
It was bad, bro.
45% of the population of New York was not born in the United States right now.
Yeah,
I mean, not that that's bad, but I don't want to.
It is bad.
I don't want to go there. I mean, that sounds like a place that's not everyone's going to be assimilated and
So would you
friendly.
Would you rather go to like Los Angeles, or we'll get specific, or New York? Which one are you picking?
I'd rather
New York or Los Angeles.
I'd rather go to Los Angeles right now.
Yeah.
In New York, like it's just a mess, especially politically right now.
LA's very tourist friendly, and anyone
Yeah, I
can blend
believe
in
that.
there, bro. There's not. You don't go to LA and all of a sudden they're like, oh look, there's a black person or a white person or you know what I mean? It doesn't matter, bro. It's super neutral. We're in New York, nah, they got all that shit, bro.
I don't know, dude. I feel like Cody might be good in LA. I feel like they're gonna be like, "Hey, where are you from?" I feel like I'm gonna.
If he goes to like Venice Beach, he's straight.
Yeah.
No one's gonna hit you up, bro. They don't just look at random dudes and go, "Where you from?" You gotta look like a banger, bro.
What if I go like this?
They don't. They still ain't. Bro, we got skaters, surfers, everything out there.
I feel like
People
it's more
live.
safe there too.
Yeah, I think
than
it's.
New York.
I think it's totally more doable. New York is just it's a crazy communist state right now, bro. Like it's nuts what goes on there.
It's really bad.
I'd rather have food in New York than in LA. Like based on
I
what
probably
I've
would
heard.
agree with that. I've never really eaten like New York
either.
food.
Yeah,
but
that's what. But like out of what I've heard, I'd want to go try New York's food. So I'd rather go to Texas if I get to choose. Either way, that's yeah. You
Well,
should go
Texas is
somewhere
way
fun.
better than all of
than
those
all
options.
of them. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I've been to Texas plenty of times. It ain't all that.
I was just in Dallas, pretty nice.
The Alamo was the
Pretty
only
nice.
cool thing about Texas. Otherwise,
I like Texas.
it's whatever.
Yeah, but at least everybody there's like
Decent.
well, yeah, good people for the most part.
Some of them,
Depends how close to the border you get.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
There's
Texas.
some pretty shitty parts of Texas.
Like you go to Texas, like you want to talk about cartel, bro. Like they're living all over the place out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm from LA, so I'm biased, but definitely not New York.
You think LA is safe? Would you say it's safe?
As long as you can go to the right places, yeah.
Well, that's the same
See,
with
that's
Fargo, though.
That's the thing. But this
Fargo's
is the
safe.
this is the
Not
thing
to
with
go to
LA
wrong
though. Is
places.
like if you go into one of the hoods, then yeah, you're an idiot, right? Otherwise, it's super touristy and
But there's a
very
lot of
welcoming.
hoods though nowadays.
Sure, but you know what they are: Compton, Long Beach.
You've been to Compton before?
Oh yeah, bro, I've lived all out there, all over LA. We used to go to Compton, Long Beach, Slauson, everything all the time. I had homies that hang out there. We do
Was
music
there
with
anywhere
fools out
that
there.
you avoided?
Not necessarily. No, I never really feel. I
Did
mean,
you feel like you couldn't be touched back then?
not necessarily that I couldn't be touched. I just wasn't afraid of being touched. I was always ready to do what I had to do too. So I didn't fear that stuff. And I had family all over LA. I got uncles that are from different gangs throughout LA, so I never feared it.
You just name drop everywhere.
Nah, they don't give a fuck about name dropping.
I only know hoods there.
Like,
I
I'm
feel
with
like.
so and so. They're gonna be like, shut up. They don't care about name dropping. Oh yeah.
It's good times.
Well, should we jump into some topics? We got a lot of
do it.
crazy stuff going on right now, man.
This is probably the strangest one.
Yeah, this is. I'm with you on
Dalton,
that.
have you been paying attention?
I've just seen like clips on Instagram and X about it. It's just weird. He seems like he's drugged out.
Something's not right. So let's talk about this. Liver King is having a meltdown. The real question here is, are we really seeing a breakdown here on him, or is this like another PR stunt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just did a documentary on him or something like that, or they're doing a movie or some shit.
They did a documentary on Netflix.
Well, they're doing a
that we watched.
movie, I thought he
Yeah.
said. Yeah. So that's kind of like what he's flipping out. So let's kind of talk quickly about what's going on and maybe watch a couple of videos. So Brian Johnson, a.k.a. Liver King, he spiraled in full view of social media, pacing hotel rooms, shirtless, live streaming for days, waving around a sheath head knife, talking about enemas, wolf pelts, and even venom syringes, all while issuing bizarre threats directed at Joe Rogan. So here's where the breaking point is. He travels to Austin, Texas, allegedly to confront Rogan, live streamed a fight challenge video. Rogan, alarmed by the behavior, contacted law enforcement. Liver King was arrested on June 24th, just a couple of days ago, at the Four Seasons Hotel. He was charged with making terroristic threats. His bail was set at $20,000. He was ordered to undergo mental health evaluation and avoid Rogan by 200 yards. If I'm not mistaken, he's also wearing an ankle bracelet right now.
He is indeed.
Yeah.
Is that all a bit much for saying you're going to beat someone's ass?
No, terroristic threats are taken very serious depending on where you go, man.
Especially if you're holding a weapon.
Yep. So since all this has happened, he is now back online. He's wearing an ankle monitor. He's taunting Rogan again, but he's calling him Seth Rogan now.
Yeah.
And Rogue, like gym equipment, he's like doing subliminals. It's really weird, bro. But he's claiming the videos will never stop. So the question that we all have is this a steroid crash? I don't know. I've never seen anyone go this hard in the pain.
Steroid crash?
A psychotic break, or is it just next level shock marketing? Rogan says they've never even met, so he's not sure why the obsession. And another topic is, what are the legal implications of this influencer madness? And is Liver King done, or is this just him evolving into something darker? So this is the ugly side of virility, masculinity, marketing, and influencer psychosis, all colliding in real time. This isn't just about Liver King. This is a case study in how fast fame can fracture a brand and a mind. So this came. I went back into his social media and tried to go back like as far as I can. There's like weeks long gaps. Like there was at one point there was like a 8-week long gap, and then a 6-week long gap, and then all of a sudden he was just snapped. And so, what no one's explained is the video of him where his face is all jacked up.
Yep.
He's got blood, dried up blood and shit on his nose and eyes, and he has like tree like branches hanging out his shirt and the backpack he has on and shit. So like something, it almost seems like something happened at that moment, and he hasn't been the same since. But no one knows. People are commenting like, "What happened? What's going on with his face?"
I actually noticed that before. I thought that video where he came out explaining that they're releasing a documentary, about his family and stuff.
Yeah,
he seemed like his demeanor was different then.
Yeah,
so it makes me wonder if
how
Israel got a hold of him.
The documentary just like the reaction to the documentary like broke him.
Like in a bat, like he's really
like was there not a good reaction to it?
Yeah,
really.
I feel like
that'd be weird though.
I feel like the reaction.
He's so in touch with his primal self. It would be weird for something to just fold the guy like that. He hasn't been
fucking doing any of the primal.
Yeah. Well, you notice too, he's smaller right now.
Yeah.
Like he's looking pretty frail.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people are speculating drug use, things like that. Beyond steroids, they're talking.
Well,
like,
he looks withered.
Meth. Everyone's like he's
like his
methed
face,
up.
His face
he does look like he's methed up.
His face is just like
he's got one major dilated pupil and one not at all. Like it's the craziest looking thing ever. Like he just looks deranged. His wife and his kids seem very like kind of struck by this. They're just kind of quiet behind the scenes.
It's kind of crazy that we were talking about him, like, and I was saying like, oh yeah, I kind of felt bad, and then all of a sudden this is
doesn't that seem like coincidence though? Like, okay, he's got more eyes on him because of the Netflix documentary,
absolutely,
and then all of a sudden this starts to become a thing. It's like I don't know. Or did they release the documentary after they saw he was acting strange? Like, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Like that's a good point. Like,
or is it all just a marketing play?
Yeah. Like, is he trying to get back into the spotlight? But
like he's using this to build the fame on him, and people are going to go watch his documentary to try to figure out the timeline of all this, what's going on, what happened. Like it would be marketing genius, and we may never know, because if it is a marketing tactic, I don't think it'd be a good idea to be like, I got you guys. It'll be like a transition where he goes to get help because he's now been court ordered to do so, you know what I mean? And then he'll come out recovered. He'll have this long speech and talk all his ancestral tenets, and that he's back on board, and he apologizes to his fan base. And then, lo and behold, the Netflix documentary broke records, bro. Like, who knows?
But he's talking like, so like in the next topic, we'll talk about Jon Jones, but he's talking like Jon Jones was talking on the cell phone.
Yes.
Like, he's like, very weird. Let me take a 12-minute poop. I just need 12 minutes. You know what they say? When you got a flower in the grass, you got to, like Joe Biden. Like,
that was a very interesting connection. And he said he's killed before. He'll kill for me again, or something like that. Or she did, or something weird like that. So like, super strange. What a weird connection you made though, that they both kind of had a similar kind of weirdness happened to them.
Yeah, and then like one of the things Liver King said was he was like, I could take both you guys right now, but like I'm not gonna, but I could easily take you guys. Like
who was he talking about both though?
It was
the cops,
police.
both the cops.
Oh
When
yeah,
they
it was a guy and a girl.
It was
though,
a really long video.
Yeah, I
Like,
watched the whole thing.
yeah. And he's like, I could take both of you guys, but I'm not gonna. But like, you see, they try to take somebody down like this. Like you guys know me, and I'm like, you shouldn't be trying to do this to me, you know? Like, and just spiraling in his own head.
I don't know. I honestly don't think it's a marketing thing, because I think he took it really far.
Yeah.
With like flashing his guns and threatening Rogan, going to his place.
He flashes
What do you
guns?
think the
Yeah,
thing
he was
is with
holding
Rogan
guns.
though?
I was wondering. I was like, how did this?
What do you think that? Yeah, they deleted that video though, didn't they? The gun
I don't
flashing
know.
one. Yeah,
I know I saw it.
yeah,
I saw it.
It was deleted
for sure.
but it's on the internet. Still,
I saw it
guaranteed.
for sure.
So just like Dalton said, I was like, I didn't know you could get charged with terroristic threats.
Oh yeah,
From
it's
just
a
saying-
felony in Minnesota.
That's crazy.
Yep. All you got to do is tell somebody you're going to kill them or you're going to beat their ass or something. You can get in trouble.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I said I'd beat your ass 100 times probably.
yeah, yeah. If people wanted to snitch, they could. Man, it's that simple.
I don't know if this is all like. It seems way too serious for him to just be like, it's for Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then, like you said, why?
But man, people do extreme shit these days. Like we're living in a crazy, weird world, bro. Like half the shit we're looking at in politics, we don't know if it's gimmicks or if it's all one big play or if it's really real and these people behave this way or you know what I mean. So like it wouldn't surprise me if this was a fucking marketing tactic.
Yeah,
I feel like as we get into the future, we're gonna have to get super creative with marketing because everything has been seen at this point and been done, and AI can, you know, bring people to a level they've never been at when it comes to marketability. And so if you really want to be recognized as outside of the norm, you have to take it to a new level. You have to find a way. And, you know, the big thing, the big saying that they use now is there's no such thing as bad marketing.
Yep.
So people are jumping on board with that shit. You know what I mean? They're doing crazy, weird stuff to create big marketing.
I did notice
avenues.
that. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have his website on his Instagram profile anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they dropped him?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, it was a big company, bro. So I'm sure, I would imagine they dropped his ass.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it was almost like he was sponsoring a DJ or something like that. Like that was his go-to thing.
Weird.
I don't know, dude. It's either way. Like you can see that the guy is obviously struggling. Like he looks fucked up.
Yeah, hopefully he figures it out because this is, I mean, this is it is crazy. It's that topic of like, is being a viral superstar worth it in this regard? Like,
you just kind of mentally crashed. Did we lose the cameras?
Yeah, bro. I don't know what the hell's going on. Everything just reset.
Is it still recording?
No, they're coming back on to record now. This is crazy.
I think that's the universe telling us they don't want us to do the pod anymore.
they want us to cancel the pod for good.
Yeah.
That's sad.
And then we're back.
And we're back.
You think
That's
all that
crazy.
stuff is going to be on there though?
I don't know. We'll see. Oh shit.
Should we just move on to the next topic?
No, let's check out a couple of videos and see
All right.
what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. Why the fuck is he wearing a vest?
So, okay, this is an interesting video. It's not very long, but this will just show some of his weirdness. Check out what he says about when she tries to get him to take the vest off.
Yeah.
Rings?
No, you do. Christian, you there?
Look how frail he looks, though.
He does.
This time. That's what. Oh, is it like this?
No, it's not. It could apply this. Is that where it's at? Yeah, that sticks. That sticks the proof. The big holes in the pocket. I did it.
Look at his poor wife.
It's my skeleton.
That lady?
There's not,
Yeah.
there's no weapon or anything like that. It's just like someone who couldn't carry a water bottle. I'm carrying this. Yes, my skeleton, my exoskeleton.
He won't take the vest off. It's his exoskeleton. Okay.
Why are they fucking recording every single
He's demanding
fucking
it.
thing?
He's clearly in control and in charge of everything, like he's always shown, right? Because his wife just sits back there and you could tell she's like biting her tongue. She doesn't know how to behave with him.
Yeah.
She's just trying to, like, you know, keep things copacetic as best as she can. Even these sweatsuits he's wearing, I don't know if you guys noticed, they're covered with Joe Rogan's face. He had a whole bunch of jumpsuits made with Joe Rogan's face on them. That's what he's wearing. In like a couple of the other videos when he's in the hotel, he's got this box full of apparel from Bella and Canvas, and it's all like red and green jumpsuits, and they all have Joe Rogan's logo on them, bro.
See, that's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why Joe Rogan was like, nah, Joe Rogan will beat the dog shit out of this dude. But Joe Rogan's like, nah, I'm calling the cops. Yeah. This is crazy. So, yeah, I don't know, man. This guy, he's crashing out hard for sure.
I think it is a drug issue, honestly. I think
it's gotta be,
drug
bro.
and
But
mental.
why Joe Rogan, though? That is weird. What did Joe Rogan say?
Well, I think he was offended because Liver King wanted to come on his podcast. Rogan basically was just talking shit and saying, no, he's not coming on here.
Yeah, why would he?
He's like, why? So you can lie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was when he had more plates, more dates, and they were talking about him on there.
Okay.
And yeah, he was just basically saying, he's like, yeah, he wants to come on here. I'm just like no.
Well, let's segue that right into this next topic, which is our boy Jon Jones.
Sad.
So we got retirement, legal mess, and the heavyweight Houdini act. So here's the deal. Jon Bones Jones, once hailed as MMA's greatest ever, has abruptly retired, but not before sinking into a legal quagmire. A criminal misdemeanor charge just dropped amid shock. He allegedly fled the scene of a car crash in February with a partially unclothed, intoxicated woman in the passenger seat and reportedly threatened an officer from a body cam call. So here's the timeline. On February 21st, alleged hit and run, Jones leaves the scene on foot. June 21st, UFC President Dana White confirms Jones' retirement. Interim champ Tom Aspinall is elevated. On June 22nd, misdemeanor filed in Albuquerque court. Bond hearing set for July 24th. And then on June 24th, the body cam footage surfaces. Jones allegedly issued threats, prompting fresh outrage. So what he says, attorney labels the allegations false, calling it truly unbelievable. Jones has tweeted cryptic statements hinting at mental strain and disappointment over the narrative. The broader fallout, fans and UFC insiders are torn, praise his legacy, condemn his exit and legal drama. The interim champ, Tom Aspinall, expects a busy title reign, doesn't hold a grudge. Legends like Israel Adesanya believe Jones might unretire. It's just drama, rage baiting, and it's working. So is this strategic retirement? Is he bowing out to dodge court drama or block Aspinall leverage? Or can a spotless 30-fight record withstand allegations, threats, and ghosting fans? A reason why this might matter, Jon Jones built a Hall of Fame MMA reign, but his endgame is married by accusations of immaturity and propriety and sudden ghosting. This isn't just about one fighter. It's reflective of sport culture, image management, and whether legends get a free pass. That takes us right back to not white privilege, but rich privilege, like I always say. But what I thought was weird, and I caught this when they showed the body cam footage of the cop, this chick was naked in the passenger seat. Like the cops are saying, do you have pants there? Like, can you put some pants on? She was like, oh no, yeah, I have some pants. I'm sorry. Like she was bottom half
obviously
naked.
not his wife.
Not his wife. No. Clearly. And she snitched on him too. She got him he called her phone or something and she was talking. And the lady goes, here he is on the phone. And then the cop was just like, who is this? She's like, it's the driver. And they were talking. She goes, it's Jon Jones. And he was like, Jon Jones. She's like, yes, the UFC fighter.
The cop was,
and then the cop got shook. It seemed like he was like, he's
so
threatening
scared.
me. Yeah, he's threatening me. He's gonna kill me, and it was
he
crazy.
went back to the other cop, and he was like holding on to his notepad,
shaking.
and he was like visibly shaking. He was like, he threatened me over the phone. Like he said he'll kill me or hurt me, and he's got people that'll do it.
Yeah,
I'd be scared.
He was
Jones.
so scared.
The cop?
Yeah.
On the body cam footage. I should see if I can pull it up real quick.
I sent it not too long ago. I haven't sent a ton, so you should be able to find it there somewhere. But yeah, no, it was crazy, and like he doesn't say he did it, but she says he did it. She's like he was driving the car.
Did he hit somebody, like a person, or did he?
No,
hit a
he
car?
just crashed out. Like
crashed
crashed the vehicle.
Just getting too drunk.
Yeah, he's a drug
he's got some
addict.
serious issues, huh? Something's happening with the guy.
We talked about it last week. I'm pretty positive, but when he was in town, he was supposed to be sober.
Here it is, right here.
We
Check
know
this
for
out.
a fact he wasn't. So.
Oh.
Hey, where'd he go? Where'd he go at Honey? I have one of the drivers leaving the scene on foot, heading westbound on Lomas. Okay, they're gonna check you out, okay? She don't leave. Oh, she has no fans. She has no fans.
Okay, that's fine. Can we ask what's going on? Please talk to him.
She naked.
Hello, who am I speaking to? My name is Pierce Lopez. And who am I speaking to?
What's your name?
Pierce Lopez? With the Albuquerque Police Department?
I guess you guys, I'll be with you.
Don't worry about that, man. Were you the one driving the vehicle?
My brother's attacked the dreams and assistance.
He was the one driving the vehicle.
This what girls, they're the most evil people you ever meet.
What?
That's Jon Jones.
Jon Jones?
He was the one driving the vehicle.
But they don't waste their pieces with just killing or petty crimes. But they definitely listen to conversations like this and sound bored enough to kill you. To kill you.
So, listen to me, man. He's making threats, and then he's making threats. I gotta come off Charlie.
So guess what, dude? You won't be the first guy to hear that threat. It's another guy. You get a second one. But if you're untraceable, my brothers, they kill people with way less. Sometimes she's black and dead.
That's understanding that the subject, his name is Jon Jones, the fighter, and he was under the influence, man.
The driver of the vehicle that fled is Jon Jones, the fighter.
I just got thrown over the phone.
Yeah, look at him.
I got thrown over the phone.
Sex reference, possible criminal charges.
Said, I know some people that can hurt you for less money. Yeah, it's him. Hey, where'd he go? Where'd he go at Honey?
Bro, that's crazy.
Well,
That boy snapped.
yeah. So I think his legacy is definitely probably kaput. I
Yeah,
would
this
say.
this can't be a marketing stunt for sure. No
No.
way.
No.
This is 100% just fucking.
I think
downfall.
he must have fell off and he got really into drugs, I'm assuming, or partying, whatever it is. But he's definitely, I think he's out of the GOAT debate. I think being the GOAT kind of comes with certain criteria other than just fighting. I think you have to be somewhat a likable character too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But do you think this makes him an unlikable character, or do you think this is just like strike on his record though? I mean, he's Jon Jones.
I mean, the conversation itself like kind of makes him unlikable.
Yeah, but it makes people feel bad for him too in the end game. Like fan bases are weird with stuff like this. If he comes out recovered and you know like says, hey, I had to get treatment.
But he already, I mean, he was like, when he was fighting, he was like, all grace to God and all this stuff. Like he was a godly man. And then all of a sudden he's out like, he's out like partying and doing blow. And
he's in Thailand for a long time having a bunch of fun up there.
The lady boys. And
yeah.
I don't know. It's unfortunate because
he's a
we
legend.
all wanted the big fight, the super fight with him and Tom, but I honestly don't think he wanted that smoke.
But you remember when he was here, he was being reckless too.
Yeah.
He was partying it up and having a good time. So.
Yeah. No, it's he's I mean, it's not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time he's got a problem, and he's got to get it fixed.
I'll say probably with great certainty, he's not coming back to the UFC. Bro.
No.
That's a wrap.
It'd be silly if Dana White
He's
did
too
that.
old to recover and come back from this and then be as good as he was again.
What he should do?
It's a wrap for him there.
What he should do is he should go fight Francis Ngannou in the league that he's in and then retire. Make a bag from Francis Ngannou because he would.
Maybe.
I'd watch it and then retire. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing, here's what's interesting. If Tom Aspinall fights Cyril Gane and Cyril Gane whoops his ass.
Does Jon Jones come back?
No, but it kind of just maybe puts him to bed a little bit that about that whole fucking, Tom Aspinall whooping Jon Jones' ass.
I don't
he's
think
younger.
I don't think anyone's really. I think like at first it was right. Like Jon Jones was going to beat Tom Aspinall easy, and the fact that he waited was the only reason why people think Tom could have beat Jon Jones. Like,
well, minutes matter when you're that old.
Yeah, exactly.
Or days matter when you're that old.
But also being like a supreme wrestler, it's really hard to get beat in the UFC. Like when you can wrestle the way Jon Jones can wrestle, it's pretty unstoppable. Like,
but he's 37.
Yeah.
That's really old for fighting. It's crazy.
He is. But his whole family is athletes also. So
where did he wrestle from?
I don't know. I have no clue on his backstory.
I knew that he was a really good wrestler, obviously, but
I mean, if you're a family of athletes, I don't think age matters as much as it does for us. Like, both of his brothers are in the NFL.
It's not like athleticism; it's like recovering and being able to.
Like how bad did he destroy his body? When you take drugs to that level,
the
bro,
drugs are the worst.
You know what I mean?
thing,
Like you've done some serious damage to your not just your body but your brain. Homie. And so like that's not that matters. You know what I mean? That IQ in the octagon is important, bro. And if you're damaged in the brain like this, you're slower to react. You probably don't see as many steps ahead as you once used to. Like there's all kinds of things that got him fucked up.
Well, we saw it like emotionally. He was affected early on in his career by the drugs and alcohol. Like the way that he acted against like DC was insane. He would he'd get extremely emotional.
Rivalry. It was
super
crazy.
weird.
Yeah,
super weird. But I'm sure. And it's part of the game, but he took it far.
It is part of the game, but I think it's also the money ruin, bro.
Yeah.
Like these young dudes, they get shit tons of money. They get all this fame. They don't know what to do with it. It's not like the UFC or the NFL or the NBA or anybody has like teams of people that say, hey,
do this.
We know you come from nothing, so we're going to guide you through this process. You know what I mean? Like it takes like, the proof is Allen Iverson, right? This whole thing just came out about Allen Iverson. He was fortunate enough to have some people on his team, like within his management team or something that were overseeing things for him. They saw how reckless he was as a young, thugged out basketball player, spending millions and millions of dollars, living this life of luxury. And they knew at some point this shit's going to run out. And so they put money away for him. They created some kind of a trust fund where he couldn't touch the money until he turned 15. So it was like an interest accruing account they created until he turned 50, excuse me. He just turned 50 like last month and cashed in $50 million off of that, bro.
That's insane.
So somebody saved that dude's life because he was broke.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson was broke.
Somebody should
but they're talking about it like all over the news right now. So it's like that clearly is so out of the norm for something like that to occur for these dudes within sports.
Do you guys
and
think AB's broke?
Antonio Brown?
Oh, he's got to be.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got to be, bro.
Think so?
I think
yeah,
so,
he's got to be.
I don't know.
Look, you can stretch $1 million a really long way, but for a guy like Antonio Brown, he's broke if he's got a meal ticket even.
He's just doing so much drugs. Like, what else is he spending money on? I don't really get it.
You've seen his jewelry?
He's had that, though. He's been like that.
I don't know, man.
Well, football players don't make that much money.
Bro,
in all
image
reality.
is everything, though, to these people. You know what I mean? Like, these motherfuckers will walk around with no money in the bank account and $100,000 chain on because that'll get them in the doors.
Yeah.
That'll get them into the same rooms as other people still, you know what I mean? So they don't want to lose all the image part because that will be how they make their comeback. You know what I mean?
But he's also like a social media person now, like for real. So, like, he's got to be making money off of like Instagram and stuff. I don't know if he has.
All I know is people like him and now Jon Jones and like they got really bad, PR around them, man. Like these people are just taking money from these guys. They probably see these dudes have these kind of like downward spirals and they just start
making money,
taking for themselves as much as they can and letting these dudes spiral out of control because they're not paying attention.
See, and that makes sense, but like football players just don't have such a long lifespan. Like
and they don't make a lot of money unless they're like the
They
top
don't.
dudes. You know what I mean?
now they do because of like endorsements, but like
Yeah.
AB, I don't.
But you got to be one of the top dudes still.
Yeah.
And I guess he was, you know, but
They
man,
didn't have it like they do
yeah,
now.
No,
though.
it's not the same. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. It's a tough one. It's
LeBron's
crazy though,
son
man.
was offered like a $3 million contract extension with the Lakers for $30 million or $40 million, one of the two.
A 3-year contract?
3-year extension on his contract for the
That's
Lakers.
fraud.
And I was like, oh, what?
That's
He doesn't
fraud,
even
bro.
start. He's not even on the
Hardly even
on the
plays.
real team. Yeah.
it doesn't even really play that much.
That's just daddy pulling strings, bro.
But he
There's-
declined it. So I don't know how that works
More
for
money
basketball.
somewhere
I gotta
else.
look at it. Yeah. But he's not going to go play somewhere against his dad. I don't
He'll stay there. Well,
that-
his
that-
dad's probably got one more year.
one
But
more year.
also,
That's what I'm
he's
thinking.
you know Bronny's already rich, bro.
Yeah.
His dad's a
Yeah.
billionaire, homie. Like
I mean,
Bronny didn't come into this needing money, bro.
No.
Well,
No
all like
way.
the
He was
advertisements
set.
he could do too. He never has to do another hard thing in his
Nope.
life.
Oh, he
way
loves
ever.
Twitch and stuff too. He just
Yeah, he's a
be-
big streamer. No,
Yeah.
he could quit today and he'd never have to touch anything ever
sure.
again.
That's
and his
crazy.
little brother will be better than him.
Maybe
at
we need to be
basketball,
on
though.
Twitch.
That would suck. That's streaming. You want to stream?
Yeah, why not? If we can make bank on it
Could try. We say too many swear words, I think.
for Twitch. Twitch
I
has
don't know,
all
I see
kinds
some
of
pretty
cussing,
yeah, I
doesn't
think
it?
Twitch is okay with that.
Yeah, Twitch
I
has
see some pretty-
Twitch. Yeah, because
that's
the
where,
people
like, the-
play video games
That's
like
like
Modern
where the
Warfare
banned
and stuff on
YouTubers
there.
goes
Yeah,
to Twitch.
yeah.
That's true.
And I saw what is it, that Aiden Ross dude?
Yep.
I saw a video with him talking to someone about the kind of money he makes on there.
Yeah.
And it's equivalent to YouTube.
Yeah.
In fact, probably easier to make money on
Because
Twitch.
you can be yourself. You don't.
Yeah,
Care
Yeah,
about
it was the
all
Diesel
rules.
Boys or Diesel something
Yeah.
or other.
But I
Whistling
mean,
Diesel.
bro, like if there's something to it, man, you never know what we could pull.
When you record the videos at the gym for lifting with you and the
that
other
should be
big guy,
streamed.
do you guys have to not swear for YouTube? You thought about
Not
that at all?
necessarily, no.
But we always get fucking copyrighted.
Yeah, but that's just a statement. It doesn't mean anything to us.
Yeah.
It just means that someone claimed copyright on like a background song or something that's playing, and so
That happens to your videos. At the
yeah, all
gym?
the time. And so then it gets partially blocked. Like for the most part, it's been Russia. So apparently the copyrights come from someone in Russia, and so it's partially blocked in
They
Russia.
have like your video
Yeah,
recording.
yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
And the other thing, well, copyright makes sense.
No,
It's
I'm
their-
saying blocked in Russia because of a
your
song.
video
The
is
licensing,
blocked, but
someone bought the licensing, like that exhibit song that I use in the beginning of the SNS podcast, right? That George Bush thing talking about the weapons of mass terror. So that section could have been created by a producer from Russia, or somebody could have bought the rights to his catalog in Russia, right? And now they own the rights to this music, and so they're making their claims. And all it means is, A, they won't show it in Russia. It's partially blocked.
That's what that
But
means.
also, if we monetize it, we have to share monetization with them people. You know, so if that video were to blow up, they would get a share of that monetization is all. Which is, that's fine with me. I don't care. So they tell you clearly, like, this isn't a hit on you. It's just a copyright claim, and so you have to share monetization with the person that claimed it, and they might block your, video in certain regions. I don't even know if they block the video as much as they just mute that part out or something. I don't know.
Wow, seems like a lot of work.
But I
on
don't
their
care
end
if
to
Russians can't watch our
Yeah.
podcast, bro. No big
They're
deal.
not coming to the gym anyway.
Yeah, it's
They
not a
might.
big deal.
I don't know.
Hell yeah. Well, let's jump into another topic here. We got a few things to touch on. So here's a new one. I don't even know how to say this dude's name, but this dude is all over the
Zoran?
place right now. Yes. New York City's new mayor-elect, Zoran Mamdani's upset and what comes next. So here's what happened. On June 24th, 2025, 33-year-old Democratic Socialist Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani stunned New York City by defeating former Governor Andrew Cuomo in the Democratic mayoral primary, securing 43.5% of first-choice votes to Cuomo's 36.4% in a result so decisive Cuomo conceded that night. So who is he? He's born in Uganda in 1991 of Indian American heritage and raised in Queens. He was a foreclosure prevention counselor turned assemblyman, endorsed early by Bernie Sanders and AOC. Ran a grassroots multilingual campaign targeting young progressives, especially in Brooklyn, Queens, and South Asian/Muslim communities. His progressive platform, rent freezes, free transit, city-owned groceries, alarmed moderates, business elites, and Republicans. Trump labeled him a 100% communist lunatic. Mayor Eric Adams is now mounting an independent bid for November, framing Mamdani as radical and divisive. So what's next? The primary win just clears the first hurdle. Final results await ranked choice tabulation over the coming weeks. General election set for November 4th, 2025, expected to pit Mamdani against Adams and possibly Cuomo. So is this a generational pivot in New York City politics? Can a fresh progressive with limited experience lead the world's largest city? How will Adams and Cuomo splitting the non-Mamdani vote shape November's outcome? And what are the real-world prospects of his ambitious platform? And can he pass them through a divided city council and state legislature? Here's why it matters. This isn't just a mayoral primary. It's a symbolic break from establishment politics. Mamdani's victory echoes AOC-style insurgencies, shifting power dynamics and real policy implications for housing and cost of living in New York City.
Can you guys explain to me how the two Democrat candidates are between Cuomo and this guy?
Yeah.
Cuomo is like a hero compared to this guy.
Dude, that's fucking wild because he had to step down from how shitty of a job he did as a governor.
Right.
Well,
I think this is just proof that it's all rigged and they'll let anyone come in and play the part.
Yeah, 100%. Like, how the
There's no way New Yorkers are truly voting for this. But I did hear somewhere that New York is like less than 40% registered Republicans.
Less than 40%
Yeah.
registered Republicans.
It was like a really low number. I remember hearing. I heard it
Well,
on.
it's because they all moved out of there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
they all
But
left.
either way, that's why it's, unfortunately, it seems like the Democratic Party is just a bunch of batshit people right now. So
He's only been a citizen for 7 years.
yeah, I don't even think he's a legal citizen. Aren't they trying to revoke his citizenship or something too? At this,
I think that he
Naturalized.
I think he naturalized, but he could get his citizenship taken away though.
he also was a rapper.
Yeah,
And you want
in
to talk
Uganda.
code switching? He's a code switching master
For
too.
sure.
Let's check some
100%.
of this out real quick. We got some pretty good videos on this guy.
100%.
He's quite something.
Yeah, he's an entertainer. Just like Zelensky too. He was an actor. He was an actor and a dancer.
Shaking his little penis around. That little fucking leotard that he had.
So here's this watch.
Hey,
we'll watch
hey.
a couple of these videos to kind of show this guy's character. So here's the first one. This is the one I like a lot.
I am Donald Trump's worst nightmare as a progressive Muslim immigrant who actually fights for the things that I believe in. And the difference between myself and Andrew Cuomo is that my campaign is not funded by the very billionaires who put Donald Trump in D.C. I don't have to pick up the phone from Bill Ackman or Ken Langone. I have to pick up the phone for the more than 20,000 New Yorkers who contributed an average donation of about $80 to break fundraising records and put our campaign in second place.
I am the person on this stage who represents the working men and women of New York City. I work for the people of the state of New York, the people of the city of New York. I don't care who gave me what.
This is the very mayoral candidate who has a super PAC that received $1 million from DoorDash. How are you going to regulate DoorDash when they are giving you $1 million to influence your street safety regulations and your labor regulations? You are one of the close to 2.5 million New Yorkers who live in rent-stabilized housing. I will freeze your rent. This is an act that will bring nearly $7 billion back into your
That's
pocket.
insane.
And will do so because the mayor has the power to. Even though there are those like Andrew Cuomo on this stage who will tell you it's unrealistic, we know the previous mayor actually did this 3 times.
You hear a lot of four-letter words here. You hear free, you hear taxes. You don't hear jobs.
I think Andrew Cuomo would tell you that he's already replaced a campaign worker who would have written his housing policy with AI because he had it written by ChatGPT. What we've seen is that kind of leadership has delivered us to this point where we are under attack by an affordability crisis on the inside and a Trump administration on the outside. We need to have a mayor that will actually stand up to Donald Trump, not one that we have right now that will collaborate. And I am running to be your next mayor to make this city affordable. I will do so by freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants, by making the slowest buses in the country fast and free, and by delivering universal childcare. And I will pay for this by taxing the 1%. The billionaires and the profitable corporations that Mr. Cuomo cares more about than working-class New Yorkers, I will ask them to pay their fair share so we can have a city that everyone can.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mamdani.
So he's got a couple really good points that I like.
this is what
There's
he's
a
doing.
couple good things, dude.
This is the tactic that he's using. They're not good points, but he's appealing to the crowd.
Exactly.
Right?
He does
because
appeal.
free always appeals to the
stupid, that
to the
sounds
low life losers who don't want to do
The
anything to
super
live.
PAC
bro.
stuff, it makes sense.
It
Though.
does,
That's
yeah,
the part
sure.
Where I'm like, I
but
get it,
but it's a gimmick, right?
because he's gonna do the exact same thing once he gets into office.
Yes.
I agree.
So check him out though. This is what a fraud. First of all, like he's done protesting and screaming and you know all this stuff too. He's one of these.
To defund the police.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. But check this out.
They hate a politician they disagree with. They hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years old, is there a different...
He wasn't raised in South Africa.
Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour back when he was a rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
It's so New York.
On Disney?
Nepotism and hard work goes a long way. Here in New York City, this is how I speak, this is how I am.
Do you believe in the First Amendment, John Bowman?
More than they hate a politician they disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust,
Yeah.
you've adopted different...
What a loser.
He's a freak, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but yes, this is someone that New York would elect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he fits the bill, bro, like perfectly.
Yeah, they're just saying he's saying all the things people that.
But I don't care what anyone says.
Things.
That code switching he's doing is not normal.
That's worse.
It's one thing to have like a little hood slang and then
Yeah.
to try to articulate when you're around the right kind of people. It's another thing to go be liquor store Indian 1 minute and fucking born in America.
Hello, this is tech support.
Yeah, like that's crazy
was
to
crazy.
me, bro.
Just a whole
that's
different
That's not
person.
even code switching. That's absolute fraudulent, like pretending
Acting, just
and
fucking-
trying to appeal to different groups of people by faking who you are. That's crazy to me that he can even get away with that and that they would talk about it publicly.
So
and
what?
he would just be like,
what's
normal.
next? Do you guys think? So obviously, Mayor Adams is running as an independent. You guys think this guy wins?
I think he's got a really good chance.
I think he does too. He talks really well.
I think he probably wins.
I think
he does talk well.
I think if he didn't have a good chance of winning, then the Republicans wouldn't be trying everything in their power to find a loophole to pull him out of this country.
Eric Adams has become too like common sense type of guy now.
Yeah.
Which
doesn't work for New York.
Yeah. No, not
New
at
York
all.
doesn't like
Well,
common
like
sense.
you said that he's talked about defunding the police. His idea with freezing rent is just going to make anybody who actually owns things, mixed with his tax policy, they're going to leave. They're going to take their companies and they're leaving
All of
New
them.
York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate
they're gonna
this.
get out
I
of
hate
there.
this idea of taxing the 1%, like going after the rich, bro. Like the statistic behind this is so absurd because I think they say the rich, the 1%, make up like
40%.
no 13% or something like that, something weird of the tax paying population, but they pay 75% of the taxes, bro.
Yeah.
So where are they not doing their fucking part? If America is such a free nation, why is it not okay as long as you're not a politician, it's not okay to be filthy rich. It's not okay to earn your own wealth and to become, financially stable for, generations to come. That makes you a bad guy automatically in America, unless, of course, you're a politician.
Yeah.
These politicians are all 100 millionaires, bro, and they shouldn't even be.
Did you see that? Just broke 400 million.
Yes.
Paul Pelosi,
That's
400
wild.
million.
That should be way against the law. And then those people like him, his wife, they have the audacity to go after people like the 1%, the billionaires and the millionaires and shit, and tell us, yes, we're going to start taxing. Like, bitch, you're talking about yourself. How could I ever believe you?
Yeah.
You're going to start taxing the rich, the filthy rich who don't care about you. You're one of them. You have hundreds of millions of dollars. You're one of the filthy rich that don't care about us. And people just blindly vote for that.
Yeah. I think
that's absurd to me.
The main thing that people see is obviously the corporations are buying out the politicians, and that's really what the problem is where we have to listen to the corporation because the politician is being paid out.
I think that their hands were forced too.
Yeah.
I think when they use talk like this, they're going to come after the rich and make them pay more taxes and make them fund this. They're like, look, I got to find a way to stop them from coming after me, so I'm going to pad their pockets.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but there's no way of getting out of this. But also, like, the grocery store thing is insane. Like
that would never work. You know, that just makes that it's gonna create food shortages, bro. There's gonna be the supply chain shortages, like,
and the quality is gonna be terrible.
The government should not be responsible for feeding the people, bro.
No.
You want to talk about
the last
communism?
thing you want to do.
Go ahead and vote this guy in and watch what happens.
Those were like
to New
two of
York.
Kamala's biggest thing was she wanted to do the end price gouging, which is just changing the price of food to adjust to inflation, which if you stop that, like you kill everybody along the way. Yeah. Like the farmers who are working with the cows, the people in the factory who are packing the meat, up to the people at the grocery store, and then we buy it. Everybody along that way just gets effed over.
Yeah.
So
it's a domino effect.
Really, really bad.
Yeah, it's really
It's
bad.
a slippery slope, man.
This guy is a crack job, though, man. I hope he doesn't become mayor, but, man, his chances look really good because he's speaking the New York language.
Yeah.
He's a great talker, too.
Yeah, he's speaking
Sounds
their
great,
language.
but it just horrible.
It's crazy to see how much social media is like pumping him out there too. Like I'd never heard of this guy before, and then 4 days ago I get a reel, and I was like, oh shit, look at this guy.
Right.
Yeah,
it's almost like they're promoting him, right?
Let's check this out.
Nothing about Mayor Adams.
What?
Bro, this is so New York. This guy's got to be a pedophile, bro.
First comment was multiple sexual allegations versus one bad rap or a bad rap.
It's not good, man.
That just makes me feel gross.
It is not good.
Ugh.
But New York, they'll do it. New York will fucking put him in, man, without a doubt. Well, speaking of rap,
they've been known to elect fucking dipshits.
Yeah,
like that Bill De Blasio. Remember him?
God,
during COVID when he was eating that fucking burger and French fries.
They're offering it to people if they get the vaccine. They're going to give them a free burger and fries. To get the vaccine.
He's like sitting there. He's like,
you could not be any more.
This is so good.
You could not have any bigger disconnect from the people of New York than that kind of behavior on.
Do you remember,
bro.
like during that time, all of like the top millionaire, billionaire actors were posting a video together. It was like, we can get through this together. And you have Whoopi Goldberg standing by her like acre big pool in her backyard, surrounded by fences. She's like, we can survive this pandemic together. Yep. Then you go to like Channing Tatum, who's standing on like his football field lawn saying like, we can do this. So like that same thing, like the disconnect, they just have no idea who they're talking to.
Right. Yeah, but they think that their influence is superior to what we can see clear as day.
It was.
And it is. And no, I don't think it was. I think they did it by force, bro. They want us to believe we're the minority, but we're not, man. I don't believe that for 1 second. They just control the narrative, they control the media, they control everything, the politics, the whole nine. So they make it look like this is the consensus. I really don't believe it is, bro.
I don't think about like vaccinations. I don't think that was as bad here, but I think when you think about how deadly people thought COVID was, it definitely it worked.
Yeah, for like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
After
there were so many people that were around here. It was bad.
Yeah, but they look at the kind of people that they were, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying that
like there's not that many of them
those
by
people
comparison.
Would freak out over anything. The ones you're referring to.
But I mean, the people who did that, like they're a small group of people when compared to the majority of the population, bro. It just was. But made
we're also
to look
in North
bigger.
Dakota, though. That's the thing that I think about, where I'm like,
well, the first 2 weeks to a month. I mean, my parents. I was my senior year of high school when that happened. We were terrified. They're like, crazy. Don't get. Yeah, I know it's forever ago. They're like, don't go outside. Don't see your friends. And after about a month, my dad's like, whatever, we're fine. Go do it. Yeah. So it's like the first month, everyone was terrified. But the people, I don't know anybody in my life who after 2 months was like still like, stay away 6 feet. Yeah. I don't know those people. They're out there. There's a lot of them.
I knew a few of them.
But
they were people I totally expected to do that. You know what I mean?
But
weak-minded,
after
frail,
a month,
incapable, easily manipulated, you know, like will fall for anything, those kind of people. The do-gooders, the virtuous ones, you know, like those are the people that were still falling for it. So it was expected.
After a month or 2 months, I definitely still heard people say, oh, if you're not vaccinated, well, then you can't. I don't want you to come over here. I definitely heard that still.
You know what I loved in opposition of that one, though, was the ones that were saying, if you are vaccinated, don't come around shedding on me. Yeah. That was another good one, bro.
I always told people I had it.
But it did shit to so many people, like the hysteria and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
mentally,
it just
it did make it
destroyed
worse.
People like I think of the band Rage Against the Machine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. But then
they fell in line, bro.
Then they are like, only vaccinated people are allowed at our concerts.
That's why.
Yeah, they weren't raging against the machine anymore.
Yeah. So they totally flipped the script, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That's wild.
But I feel like it also made everybody rethink how they handle being sick nowadays too. Because like before, 6 years ago, I was sick. I'm doing everything I was doing, and now when I'm sick, like I'll let people know ahead of time just because I know that people feel a type of way about it. You know.
You know, my freshman year of college, when COVID was like everybody was getting tested, then it's like you spend 2 weeks inside if you get positive or all that shit. I actually, in going to my sophomore year, I'm living with 8 guys. If someone got sick, we told them like, don't get tested. And like, oh, we don't feel good. I'm like, you better not get tested. You because then if you get tested,
Then
the world's
the rest
gonna
would be-
expect
yep.
us to get tested,
Yep.
and then we're like, and none of us got tested.
and you got to
anymore.
quarantine. You got to
Exactly.
do all
I
that dumb
mean,
shit. Yeah.
I was going to the wellness center at NDSU where I probably had COVID. We were doing Halloween parties.
Yeah.
We're partying every weekend. Where there's probably 10 people per like 20 people. Half the people in the room probably had COVID,
Yeah.
and we're all like, "F it," you know, because it's only real if you get tested. Otherwise, you have a shitty cold.
That was facts too, man.
Yep. It's the same thing when we were deployed to DC. That's exactly what we said. Because if you got tested and you were positive, you're out for 2 weeks. So you're fucking everybody else over.
Yeah.
Because we did shift work. So if you can't show up for your shift, you're fucking somebody else that's off. So we were like, don't get fucking tested. Just sit your ass home for a couple days. You'd be fine.
Get over it.
Yeah.
That was probably the single biggest placebo trial run we've ever experienced in the history of the world, bro. Like that was insane.
Kids won't believe it in 20 years.
Yeah,
you tell
for
them.
sure. No.
Yeah.
It's just
The dumb shit that we did with like the arrows and shit on the floor.
Yeah.
Keep your mask on.
Lines.
in
What?
line.
Dots.
All
Fuck.
the tape and
You
everything.
sit down at the
Fucking
restaurant, take it
doing
off.
this. Like, hey, what's up, bro?
I never did
Do the
that.
elbows?
I never did that.
Somebody did
bro.
it to me, and I'm like, I like looked around. He's actually like, okay, I won't say anything. Never mind.
All right, let's jump into this next one. We got some Diddy updates. Things are looking pretty positive for him, I guess.
Yeah, he's getting out.
So let's see where it stands today. So after nearly 7 weeks of explosive testimony, prosecutors delivered their closing arguments on June 26, framing Sean Diddy Combs as the head of a criminal enterprise that used power, violence, and fear to coerce ex-partners into freak-off parties with male escorts. They presented 5 charges: racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, each of which could carry a life sentence. So the prosecution story: testimony from Cassie Ventura and the pseudonymous Jane detailed drug-fueled encounters, physical assault, and threats. Prosecutors highlighted evidence of a broader criminal structure headed by Combs enlisting employees to facilitate these abuses. The defense didn't call any witnesses. Combs declined to testify and instead argued the encounters were consensual, relying on text and messages. Narrowed charges. Moments before closing statements, prosecutors dropped several racketeering allegations tied to kidnapping, arson, and other acts, choosing to focus on stronger points. So what's next? Jury instructions follow, with deliberations expected any day now, possibly as soon as Friday. A conviction could result in life behind bars. An acquittal would mark the end of a landmark case. Talking points here: how much weight do these text messages carry compared to harrowing witness stories and surveillance footage? And I think this one, I think Cassie did herself a disservice. She blew a lot of her testimony, her credibility. Yeah.
Yep.
Does narrowing the racketeering charges make a conviction less likely or just more focused? And if convicted, what's next for Combs? Appeals, civil suits, or public influence? And how does this case shape the broader conversation about power, consent, and accountability in entertainment? So this is more than a celebrity trial. It's a watershed moment in legal accountability for powerful industry figures. The verdict could reverberate across media, music, and how society addresses forced sexual exploitations.
I agree with you, John. However, obviously we don't know what they were saying in the courtroom, but they could have, like the prosecutors could have painted the picture that she was what do you call it? Not coarse, but like when you live with somebody for so long.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Like she was eventually like led to believe that everything was how it's supposed to be.
So here's the other thing, though. Didn't she admit too that he had still been paying her rent as of recently? After all that stuff had gone down, he was still paying her rent. She admitted that, and they were just like, "Whoa."
Well, I mean, if she still like had feelings for him, why would she even show up to begin with? Why would she testify?
Yeah, I don't know.
So something tells me like there's probably an internal battle going on with her, and she's probably going to be emotionally fucked for life.
I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I as much as I don't want to go there, I'm not sure she's as innocent as she's pretending to be, bro. She seemed to be very much so like a part of the process, enjoying it, kept coming back for more, had plenty of outs and never took them. Even when she was with this new guy, she was still having sex with Diddy. Like, he's still paying for everything. Like, he seems to have been, and I'm not trying to save face for this guy, but he seems to have just been playing the big boss card and doing things and having his way with people who were allowing it to happen. And then being like, okay, fine, you can go, you're free to go. Like, you know, I'll even take care of you. I'll pay your rent, stuff like that. Like, or was he just doing it to like, you know, protect himself? I don't know. But
I think they got evidence more than the text.
But
obviously,
bro, like she was letting dudes piss in her mouth,
That's
bro.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how do you force that on somebody?
Yeah. That's disgusting.
crazy.
And why do you go back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
If not for drugs, like I get the drugs, but
is
you get
money
drugs
really
anywhere?
that?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Really
Maybe like she got her addicted to drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can get drugs anywhere, like anywhere,
Not for
literally.
free everywhere.
But it's not the Diddy drugs.
And it's not for free. And you're not getting paid to do
You
the
got
drugs.
You'll get unlimited amounts of baby oil and
And you know, like when like if the stories that they say about Diddy and the Tootsie Roll thing, he was putting up a lot of money on these chicks. So they were probably on payroll to be his girlfriend type shit. And they were getting bank and they were getting lavish gifts and extravagant fucking vacations and hotels and vehicles. And I mean, he's loaded, bro. So like, I think Diddy's a billionaire now, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he was.
So I mean, these chicks, they were with him to begin with for the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've seen reports that said he'd bring random girl in, and if she did a good job, like $5,000 for the day. And then if she did fantastic, $10K, and come back again, get 15, come back, get 20. So like they all came back for money. But then at what point, like, because prostitution is illegal. So like at what point do they start charging for that?
sex. Well, if they're
That's
on
what I've been
camera,
saying.
if they're on camera and he's paying them, it's sex work. It's like a porn. It's pornography.
That's what I've been saying too. It's like, at what point do other people have to take some responsibility for their actions as well? Not excusing his actions, but at some point, other people do.
Yeah.
Like the guy who was being a prostitute, he's got to take responsibility for his actions. Unfortunately, he was being paid to have sex with people.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think he's gonna get released?
did he?
Yeah.
You think he's off?
I think he's gonna get. I think he'll get like probation, maybe a year or two, but he's not gonna get.
See,
life.
I have a feeling they're making an example of him and they're sending him a warning, and they're gonna let him slide afterwards, and they're gonna be like, okay,
Because what do they
now
have
fall
on
back
him?
in line and do
So
things.
you're saying he's?
I think he was getting too big for his britches, and he was overstepping the line, and they had to check him real quick, and that's what this is all about.
Also-
and by they, I mean like, you know, the big dogs up top type shit, you know.
Kid Cudi's fucking car got firebombed, dude.
Yeah,
like,
but that
how can
that
they
kind of
not
stuff
prove
happens
that?
all the time, bro.
But how
Like,
can they not?
Cars explode all the time.
No, but like, you know, bro, I threw grenades in people's yards when I was a
It's
teenager,
Kid
bro. Like,
Cudi's. I'm off on an adventure.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we talking? He's not a gang. This is how.
no,
is
I
there-
know, but I'm just saying, like, that type of stuff, like when there's money, like we don't even hear about that kind of stuff that goes on, bro. Like it happens in regular street shit all the time.
But
man.
I find it hard to believe that there's no proof that he sent somebody to go do that. Is what I'm saying.
Why?
How would they do? He's just like, hey, bro.
Hey, streets don't talk,
go
bro.
do this.
Yeah.
He's got people, man, and money. I'm telling you, bro, he could pay enough money to get people to let someone piss in their mouth. I'm sure he could pay enough money to say, don't ever talk about this, but I need you to do me a favor.
Hold on, John. Will you scroll up a little bit?
Scroll
Will
up.
You scroll up to the charges and stuff. Okay, so it's the prosecution testimony from Casino detailed drug field.
I don't think it says what charges he's currently facing.
As a head of criminal identity, they use power, violence, and fear to coerce ex-partners into freak us with them. Presented 5 charges, racketeering, 2 counts in sex trafficking by the force Friday. 2 counts of transportation, each of which could carry. All right, scroll down a little bit to where he said they dropped him. Prosecutors highlight evidence of a broader criminal structure by Combs. The defense didn't call any witnesses. Combs declined instead.
Oh, narrow charges right here.
Okay. Moments before closing statement. This is a little fishy. Moments before closing statement, prosecutors dropped several racketeering allegations. So there were allegations.
Well,
They're just allegations.
because they feel like they have a stronger case just focusing on the other
tied
stuff.
to kidnapping, arson, and other acts. Choosing to focus on stronger points.
Yes.
So he still could get fucking nailed.
They, as far as they believe, maybe so.
I
if
hope
the
he does,
jury
but
comes back.
I don't know.
Hope
Why
he
do you hope
does.
he wins?
I hope he does. I hope
Trying to
he's
get
in
into
jail
a Diddy
forever.
party?
No, I hope he goes to. I hope he stays in
That's
jail.
what I thought you said. I hope he does win. That's what
No, I hope he stays. He does get arrested. He
Oh,
or he
got
does
you.
stay in jail.
Dalton wants to go to a freak off.
I
No,
know.
I think
He's getting that. He's getting that Israel money now too. So
no comment. I eat well.
Oh,
Hell
great!
yeah.
Another compromised person in our circle. Damn it! How do we get put on, dog?
Yeah,
I
we
don't
were
know,
talking, 2 weeks ago? We wanted to get John in the Freemasons.
Yeah, I'm
So-
trying to make my way in. I'm gonna go do some discovery.
Is that even a thing anymore?
I don't know, but
We're
I
trying
want
to figure it out.
I'm gonna go to El Zago and have a
So-
talk with him.
This part got cut.
Yeah.
But, I went to school, like the recruiting school, down in Kansas. Was it Kansas? Little Rock, Arkansas. One of the kids in my class, like fucking brand new, freshly 21, brand new, like haven't been in the guard for very long, right? Shows me he's got a fucking a Freemason ring. And I kept asking him, like, dude, what's the deal with the Freemason? Like, tell me the secrets. And he's like, can't do it. He's like, it's just a club for guys. You know, we go in there and hang out and whatnot. Well, fast forward to this last January.
Keep in mind, this kid's in the guard with him, bro.
Yeah, he's in the guard.
Just in the guard.
Fast forward to this January, I went down to Key West and for this work trip for the guard. I ran into his old boss in recruiting. And I was like, hey, how's so-and-so doing? He's like, oh, dude, he got picked up by the CIA. He's out of the guard. So he's done with the guard.
He's with the
Got picked up
CIA
with
now.
CIA now.
He's in the CIA now.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Come
And
on,
he's
bro.
no older
You telling
than
me the
you
CIA is
and-
recruiting people out of the National Guard, or are they recruiting people out of the Freemasonry?
Yeah, what do I got to do to get in the CIA? That'd be pretty
You're
cool.
close.
Yeah, you're almost there. Homie. What are you talking about?
I would assume like he's checking all the boxes, right?
Yeah.
He's got the Freemason Society, the responsibility and everything, being with the guard.
Maybe he was a sociopath too. And you just didn't know.
But then how if he's that young, he didn't go and get his like you don't have to have a master's or anything to get into the CIA. You just got to be a regular guy.
Not those guys that are like on the street and doing shit. They don't have fucking masters or anything.
Damn.
The CIA probably just recruits, like crisis actors and everything like that too, bro. You know what I mean? So you never know the level that he's at. Yeah.
They have different departments for everything.
But the point that they trusted
just
him
a
enough
janitor
to
over
pick him
there.
up means that there
We
was
should
something
look him
there.
up. You don't remember his name or you remember it?
I'm still friends with him on Facebook.
We
but
should
he
look
doesn't
him
ever,
up.
He doesn't ever post. Or
Like on
anything.
CIAweb.com or
Get him on
something.
the pod.
Yeah.
Bro, that would be crazy.
Dude,
We'll do a Zoom with him.
Yeah.
I'm on the pod.
But I'll
We'll
pay to
fly
fly
out
him out,
there.
bro. I'll pay to fly him out. Have him come get in the studio with us.
That'd be
I don't know if
fun.
you can put like CIA agent.
Why not?
Is that something like you tell?
We'll see what he
everybody
says.
from
Maybe we
CIA?
can mask
Yeah, maybe
him.
I don't know.
Like we did
I
that
don't
one
know.
dude, bro. We could just not show his face.
Anyways,
sick.
it's
You did
just,
that?
It was interesting.
Yeah, with the guy that was in Iraq. He told us
Mask
he
the
told
guy?
us that he couldn't show his face.
Show his face.
Yeah.
Oh,
We didn't really mask him, like we just didn't show his face on camera.
Really?
Yeah. We did an audio only for him.
Damn.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. Like he didn't want to be on.
Well, he said his family's still back home and he didn't want, people to go after his family and do all this crazy stuff. So he
Was
wanted
his
like
voice still?
it was still his voice, yeah. We didn't really do much to change his voice.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's a nuts one, huh? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But if you find any ends, bro, I'm willing to do the deep dive.
I feel like more people think I know like just weird shit like that than I do.
Yeah. It comes with the territory.
I
though,
know,
you know?
but I don't know secret things like
Right.
that. I know
Secret society.
That's what you would
I know,
say if
like-
you did, though, too.
Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't. I can
just
tell
don't
you,
get it.
He's like,
I
I don't
know,
know.
like
nothing.
I know discount codes for our conferences. I know speaker. I know speaker drops you guys don't know yet. That's about it. I don't know anything crazy, but
Who's
if I
coming
did,
to Amfest?
that's a long ways away.
You don't know?
No, I don't know. Charlie Kirk will be there.
Okay.
That's
You
all
guys,
I know.
you should plan on like an Arizona trip.
That'd be cool. You guys should. Yeah, you guys should all
I
come.
would
I can
totally
get
go
you
there.
guys. I
When
can
is
get you guys.
Amfest?
I got places
December.
to stay in Arizona already too.
December.
I got invites all day.
It's right before Christmas.
Yeah.
My
Couple
brother
days
lives
before
out there.
Christmas. Oh,
and
nice.
my
It was like the
sister
weekend
and my
before
other
Christmas
brother.
last year.
Yeah, like the 21st or the 23rd or something, roughly. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's right. It's a couple days before Christmas.
I do
like
want to
two-
go.
I'd be
out there
down
this
to
year.
plan
It'd
something.
be cool.
like
You guys get to see everybody. Like Tom Holman. I have no idea if he's going to be there, but he was at the last one.
Yeah.
And he
and that's
like,
the perfect time to go to Arizona
Yeah,
if you're
in
gonna go.
December.
But I kind of want to go to Mexico too. So it's like instead of
Tom Holman's not going to be in
Arizona.
Mexico.
You could drive to Mexico from
I don't wanna
Arizona,
go
bro.
there.
I don't want to drive to Mexico. I don't want to drive to that part. I'm
It's
good.
in San Diego. Just cross the border there.
I
It's
want to go
simple.
to a nice
like the stories that we should go with.
Go get tacos?
Dustin. Yeah, we should go with Dustin to TJ, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be another dope one.
I'd get some.
We should do
tacos.
stuff like this and just document it on camera for the pod for
I
the
want to
channel,
go back
bro.
right away though. Like
Yeah.
we picked the tacos up to go. we
nah,
come back.
bro, you got to eat them there.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't want
No,
to stay
to-
long.
Yeah,
You got,
exactly.
in
That's what
TJ,
I'm
you're
saying.
fine. TJ is
I
fine,
don't know.
bro.
I don't believe you.
I don't
I've been
believe
going there
you
since
either.
I was
Probably
15
fine.
years old, man.
Yeah, I've never been there, and you speak fluent Spanish.
No, I don't.
know
He
if
doesn't.
You don't speak Spanish?
I don't speak fluent Spanish. I can get along in TJ, no problem. I've been doing it since I was
He knows all
15.
the swear words.
Yeah,
I know more than that. I can carry a conversation, but I'm definitely not. I wouldn't call myself.
I don't know.
fluent,
You feel comfortable there now?
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be
What
scared
about
to go to
Cody?
TJ.
He feels comfortable there.
I wouldn't be
Fine.
scared,
It
bro.
probably wouldn't be that bad.
I wouldn't be scared.
I'm not
telling
gonna
you.
hang
But
out
also,
there.
hey,
I'm gonna go
also Dustin told us if we went with him, his guy would protect us. His guy is a dude that goes after the cartels, and he was like, I don't know if he was in some kind of top secret like organization of some sort. I can't remember what he said, but this guy is like high level. He's got protection. He's loved by the citizens of TJ. He could do whatever he wants there. People know who he is, and he goes after cartels, or at least used to.
It's
So
good to have like a.
Dustin said we'd be
assassin on your
totally
side.
cool if we went there with him because that guy would look out. So even more, double protection now. It'd be dope.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, that sounds.
I just think we got to do more extreme shit to really get this channel to bump, bro. It'd be
We
fun.
got,
We could go
live
see
stream.
Mount Rushmore.
It'd be fun, bro.
Oh yeah, go see Mount Rushmore. Just us looking at it. Be like, this
That'd
is
be the
awesome.
whitest thing ever, but
Yeah,
I'm
that
totally
would-
down.
Yeah, Cody would love
I
it.
like a more
He's
tame trip anyway. I don't really
Yeah.
want to go to Tijuana.
You ever look at in Mount Rushmore all the names of the people that helped build all that shit? There's a name there, and I remember I took a picture when I was there, and I was like, "Oh, look, my ancestors helped build this bitch," and it was just Big Dick Johnson or some shit like that was the dude's name, bro. I was like, I didn't know we were a part of this.
That's hilarious.
Hell yeah! All right, last topic. Let's jump in. Now things are gonna get a little more serious. Hold on, let me fix this. We only ever wore this thing once. We got to do something with it. All right, next topic and last one is Trump, Iran, and Israel. Strikes, ceasefire, and conspiracy craze. So here's what's going on. On June 21st through 22nd, the U.S. under Trump carried out airstrikes on 3 key Iranian nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, as part of a coordinated campaign with Israel's prior strikes. Trump praised the damage as completely obliterated, though intelligence assessments later said the setback may amount to only a few months. Iran retaliated on June 23rd, launching missiles at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. 13 intercepted, 6 claimed hits. Ceasefire attempts have since held, with both Iran and Israel reportedly pausing violence as of June 24th and 25th. Here's what Trump is saying. He's taking credit for brokering a fragile ceasefire, but also threatening both sides and claiming U.S. strikes were a spectacular success. He hints diplomacy may follow. American and Iranian officials will talk, but only after they unconditionally surrender. Meanwhile, Trump reasserts the need for regime change in Iran, coining the slogan, "Make Iran Great Again," an echo of MAGA. So what Iran and Israel are doing? Iran's supreme leader claims total victory and warns of further U.S.-based strikes. Israel continues covert operations. Mossad-led drone sabotage inside Iran paved the way for earlier Israeli strikes. Let's see. Some of the buzz and conspiracy theories that are swirling around right now. Some on the right accuse media of anti-Trump bias, downplaying the strikes similar to the Iraq War. Anti-Semitic voices on the fringes claim Trump, U.S.-Israel collusion under Zionist control and demand internal purges. Doubters argue Trump's intelligence sources are cherry-picked, echoing claims about Iraq, and his narrative may be manipulated by Netanyahu. Good old Bibi. So, was the U.S. strike a legitimate blow or hype driven by political optics? Is Trump positioning himself as a peace broker or a warmonger ahead of future elections? Are we witnessing an uneasy regional escalation or a diplomatic chess move? How dangerous are conspiracy claims tying U.S. foreign policy to deep-rooted prejudices and disinformation? This could redefine U.S. involvement in Middle East conflicts, blurring lines between staunch interventionism and theatrical diplomacy. It also magnifies how modern leaders weaponize words, networks, and intelligence while fanning conspiracy flames. So shit has gotten crazy. I know we started off by saying things like, oh, it's 4D chess, Trump knows what he's doing. And then I was pretty much like, okay, yeah, I'm really losing my intrigue for this guy. He's playing us. He's part of the game. Then I was back on board like, what? That was a crazy smart ass move. Like, you see what he's doing now. Like, it just seems like he's playing some type of hand that I can't quite figure out. But I feel like he's maybe not the Zionist guy that we think he is, and that he might be kind of playing a game with Israel to kind of give them what they want. But in the same breath, he's colluding with Iran to say, hey, look, these guys want to destroy the shit out of you.
He was pissed. Like,
yeah, he was pissed. Yeah.
Ended that ceasefire. He's like, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
Yeah, they don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then I don't think they know what the fuck they're doing anymore, he says. But again, it could all be a play. I don't know. But I can't decide if he's good or bad right now. I just can't quite figure it out, bro. It's very confusing, and I feel like they want it confusing on purpose.
I just don't get why anyone sees like a leader like Trump or like Bibi Netanyahu, where like they're not doing any of the they make the decision finally, not even finally, they make part of the decision, but they're not doing jack shit. They're not doing the planning. They're not doing like they get told what they're going to do and that's it. And then they say, yeah, that sounds good. And then other people say, yeah, that sounds good. And then they do it. It's not
to an extent. I don't think Trump is just like following the leader type thing. I think I think if there's strategy involved, he does have some input on that strategy. Trump's super smart. We'll give him that.
He's not doing any war planning is what I'm getting at. He's not a warrior. He's not making a decision.
But
he's not.
But nobody that does the war is making the decisions. You know what I mean?
I agree. It's not about making decisions. I'm saying he's not a warrior and BB's not a warrior. So the fact that he posted that on his Instagram made me really disappointed.
What do you mean? What did he post?
Oh, you're talking about calling him a warrior.
Yeah, calling BB a warrior.
You're on another topic about this already.
Yeah, I mean,
you're talking about
together.
So
but yeah.
yes, but I know, but you didn't clarify, so I was confused. So Trump wrote a post about the witch hunt, quote unquote, that is happening with Bibi right now because the state of Israel they're coming after him about
trying to unseat him.
Yeah, unseat him because he's doing illegal things or whatever. So Trump is like, after this amazing, tactical warfare, this warrior Bibi Netanyahu, I can't believe his own nation is coming after him. They need to figure things out. This guy is blah, blah. He just went on this whole, tirade of like how great Bibi is all of a sudden, which, yeah, that's why I say he's in and he's out with me. Like 1 minute I'm like, oh man, he's one of them. Then I'm like, wait a minute, that was a really strategic fucking move. That might be his whole play the whole time. You know what I mean? Then he does another thing where I'm like, oh fuck.
You're not going to like somebody 100%.
Oh, I'm not trying to say that I want to like him 100%.
Like a president. You're not
what I'm trying to decipher is he good or is he bad, bro? I already have tons of things I don't like about Trump.
I don't think you can paint him like that because
sure you can. If he's colluding with Israel and he's been corrupted by them and they've got a stronghold on him.
How do you think that he would be corrupted by Israel?
Because he doesn't know how to say no to them and the wrongdoings that they're doing.
I'm sure he says no to them all the time. We just don't hear about it.
Well, how come he doesn't just do it like he did with fucking everyone else? How come he doesn't punk him like he punked fucking Zelensky? How come he doesn't talk shit about them?
Well, I think that's what
how come he didn't take money away from him?
Israel, like, hey, we're gonna do this ceasefire.
Okay, but you know why we went into Iran? This is your game right here, bro. Right? Because they have nuclear weapons and they don't let us. They're not paying the dues or whatever. They're not supposed to have them, right? But they let us go and inspect their shit all the time. Israel doesn't. They don't even pay the dues. So why doesn't Trump muscle Israel like he's muscling Iran right now, or Ukraine?
All I'm saying is I'm not on the inside, so I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. The only thing
conversations.
we can do is look at what's going on and try to figure it out, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure out if Trump's a good guy or a bad guy, because his collusion with Israel seems like he's trying to make it look like, oh no, I'm mad at them, but we've seen Trump mad. We've seen the way he acts when he
never swore before. The guy doesn't swear.
I know, but that doesn't mean anything. That could be an act.
It does. I mean, you're for the president of the United States.
You're ignoring the big stuff here, though, bro.
No. But you're saying that he doesn't do stuff like that. Like
he doesn't.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He pulls out the chair for Netanyahu when he comes to visit. He kicks Zelensky out of the fucking White House, bro. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah, and he's swearing on national television.
That doesn't mean he didn't swear at Bibi.
What?
He just swore at the fucking media because he's upset. He's probably stressed. He can't figure out what to do.
Yeah, because they're.
But that doesn't mean
they're turning on.
But that's not him coming down on Israel.
Okay.
That's not him coming down on Israel. He's willingly letting Israel have their way, and they're controlling the moves he's making. He neglected our own U.S. intelligence, including his own people that he brought into the administration.
Who? Tulsi.
Tulsi.
Yeah, but you're taking what she said out of context. She said they are not there right now. That was back in March, right?
Okay, so why did he?
So they're saying that they were getting closer and closer.
Right. So this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, because one minute it looks like he's in, and then another minute he's out. Right. Like the bombing of Iran. I was like, okay, well, that was crazy. Why did we have to do that? And then you see, well, they gave them forewarning. You know what I mean? They collaborated, and Iran.
No, they didn't give them forewarning.
Bro, what does it look like to you?
What do you mean?
There's tons of video footage showing them with trucks moving them in and out of there real quick before they got bombed.
So you thought they got them?
They
gave them forewarning to get their uranium out.
They already said,
No way.
And this is a play that they
way.
did, bro. I promise you. And this is a play that they're doing, right? This is what they're trying to say. Like Trump went to Iran and said, "Look, this is a good thing. This isn't a bad thing about Trump. This is why I'm confused."
But
they're saying that he went to Iran and said, "Look, Bibi is being crazy," and I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
But
you need to get your shit together. I'm gonna bomb you, so you need to clear your people out of there as quick as you can, and then I'll let you retaliate, but you better not hit nothing and hurt nobody. And we'll set this up so that Bibi can have what he wants from me, and I don't have to ruin that relationship, which is cool. But then I say, well, why is he so afraid of ruining that relationship? Why doesn't he treat him like he's treated everybody else? Why doesn't he hold him to the policies of you know, the world treaties and all this other stuff that we have going on when it comes to war? Why doesn't Israel have to be held accountable like he's holding Iran accountable? And he's let Israel, the people who don't play by any of the rules that they're accusing Iran of not playing by, he let them tell him we need to go in there and fuck them up. And he willingly went to do it. Meanwhile, Israel doesn't play by any of the rules.
I think that when this is over, this is going to play into the USA's.
I hope so, but it's only a thought.
Because I think that
what makes you think that?
I think that this whole thing, I think it's going to come down to a better trade deal for the USA.
I don't know.
I think it's interesting that Israel reignited this little bitty war with Iran themselves, and then they ask us to come in and use our resources, our people.
Well, because they're
bombs.
not capable. Israel's not capable.
Yeah,
they're not. They don't have the firepower for it.
But at the end of the day, why would we risk our lives and our?
But that's
our
the question I
military?
have is look, regardless of if trade becomes better for us after this and all that, the point still stands, bro. Why can Israel get away with everything that they're doing when they're breaking all the rules? They're not following any, lines of policy or anything like that in regards to international, war and relationships and none of that shit. They don't have to answer to us. They don't even allow us to inspect their nuclear sites, bro.
Did you think that?
Well, I don't know if that's true. We don't know if that's true.
They've said that's true over and over.
Do you think they should have attacked Iran?
But
do you think they should have attacked Iran? The U.S. should have bombed
I don't
Iran.
know.
Do you think so?
I don't know. I don't think we should have done it on behalf of Israel.
Do you think, Cody, that we should have done it?
I told these guys last time I'm torn on it. Like,
it'd be different if our intelligence said it was necessary for America to go do this, but that's not what happened. It was Israel, particularly Bibi Netanyahu. And here's the other thing, okay? October 7th happened right after they tried to indict him for whatever he's been doing, coincidentally. And then that kind of blew under. And then recently started to come back to the table, and then he did this shit to Iran again.
I think if it is 100% true that these guys were close to building a nuclear weapon, it's probably not a good idea, right?
I agree.
These guys, it's probably not a good idea for anybody, regardless, right? But at the same time, yeah, I'm totally against like that whole section of Israel. It just seems very strange with everything going on. But all I'm saying is I think that there's more conversations happening on the inside.
Oh, for sure there is.
Than what we're hearing.
We don't even know a quarter of the truth.
And I totally I'm with you there with there possibly being conversations with Iran being like, okay, here it comes. But at the same
why
time,
though, right? Even if that's true, why do they have to do that so BB doesn't get mad at us?
Trump has been pretty consistent about saying that these guys can't have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
So
how come Israel's allowed to though?
I don't know.
They're not part of any
hold on.
enrichment program.
Who would you trust more with a nuclear weapon? Iran or Israel?
I would trust the person that lets us inspect their nuclear programs.
Or maybe they do. We just don't know about
Well,
it.
at least with Iran, they're gonna do some terrorist shit. You don't know with Israel. Who knows,
bro? Yeah. It's just I think the record.
They don't fight
I'm
in
just
any
saying,
wars.
at least one of them, know what you're gonna get.
But they
the other
don't
one,
fight.
you got no idea.
The people of Israel don't even want BB there, bro. It just seems it's a weird coincidence that every time they go after him, he does something like this.
That's true.
He starts some kind of conflict or war so that they can't focus on removing him from his seat.
You're quick to maybe not blame Trump. Well, maybe blame Trump, but then like the past, top Democrats like Obama and Clinton, they all talked about doing this exact thing and keeping Iran from having these nuclear weapons. Trump is just the only one who
Obama gave them billions of dollars.
I know, but they talked about Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. We have to stop them.
That's a
Obama
show.
said it,
and then they cut him a check to build them.
So, but do you think because you think that Israel is controlling Trump to an extent? Do you think that Israel was controlling Obama and then Clinton back then?
For sure.
So it's the same, the same structure that made Obama give them billions of dollars.
All the way back to Bush.
You think it's been that much?
Yeah, who do you think told us to go to Iraq for weapons of mass terror?
I don't know if it was Israel.
It was Israel. It was Bibi. He came in front of Congress in America and gave him this whole speech about it and told us we need to go dethrone them or some shit. He literally did that. Like, it's on camera. We have footage of it. So yeah, since then
he warned us of a terrorist attack before 9/11 happened.
So did Alex Jones.
Yeah.
But I mean,
true.
come on.
And
He's
he also
connected
warned
too.
us about
Everyone
Liver
knows
King, too.
Alex Jones is connected to
Alex
the CIA
Jones
too, though.
Alex Jones for the CIA.
Alex Jones warned us about Liver King getting arrested.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he's pretty. And the frogs are gay.
He knows his shit.
He
The
does.
frogs are gay.
Yeah, but as much as I like when he does that shit, it still leaves the question. Even like with Tucker Carlson, right?
Yeah.
They are connected to the CIA.
You think Tucker is connected to the CIA?
His dad was an agent, bro.
With who? With
Ted
Ted Cruz?
Cruz,
You
yeah.
hated it? On Tucker's part?
Tucker Carlson's dad was an agent.
The more I think about it, I dislike it.
Oh,
You
Tucker's
just don't like him because of his personality. And
I
how
love
he
Tucker
interviewed.
Carlson.
I'm actually a fan
his
of
job.
That doesn't
too.
mean that he's fucking.
That's
But you
his
think he's like
personality,
compromised
though.
or something, or you just don't like his personality?
Like him.
Oh, I love Tucker. He's my
As
favorite.
a-
I used to like him. That's the thing. But the way he acted on that made me dislike
Okay,
his
but
personality.
but emotions were high. That's why.
It's
that's
his
why
job,
it came-
though. That's literally what his job is.
He's
I
like the
know.
only objective journalist left, though.
Dion, you got to understand. He was a big proponent of going into Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
So
Tucker?
Yep. And now after everything has come out about the war, he thinks he's kind of placing blame on himself. So he doesn't want that to happen again, which is why I think he's so hot about it.
Yeah, but he knew what he was getting into when he interviewed Ted Cruz. Like they obviously talk to each other. They're
Ted
friends.
Cruz is a piece
They
of
know
shit.
each other.
Ted Cruz
wanted
didn't
it
know
to
what he
be
was talking about.
He wanted to be intense about it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
obviously
It's
a
not
big deal.
Tucker's fault that Ted cannot answer the questions he asked.
No, I'm not saying that the interview was bad. I'm saying that
How he did it. I get
Tucker
it.
Carlson
I actually
was
like
very,
Ted Cruz too.
I do too.
both.
Tucker Carlson was just very
But
emotional.
he did make up. He brought up some good points. Like, why are all these politicians?
But see, this is what journalism's supposed to look like. This is why I like Tucker Carlson. It was always supposed to be that way, man. You're not supposed to just go in there and cruise them through the conversation, prepare them for the questions. You're supposed to hit them with the hard questions. You know what I mean? You're supposed to find the doubt in them. You're supposed to question everything that they do right and wrong and see where they stand. Like, I think Tucker Carlson does a really good job at that. I just can't decide if it's real or fake, though.
I think it's real. I mean, him and Candace Owens are two of my favorites.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
I really like Candace Owens. I think she's sharp as hell.
She recently
I don't
came
know
out
about
pretty
her
hard against
relationship
Trump,
with Ian Carroll, though. I don't know how much I feel Ian Carroll yet. He seems kind of weird. I don't like these people. I don't know,
man. He seems like he might be on the inside.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's a plant.
And you can I can always get a weird sense of it when these people find ways to monetize the stuff that they're doing in weird ways. Like, not just run their campaigns, not have their podcast stuff, but like do other weird things and have weird behaviors and, you know, show up to these, you know, celebrity parties all of a sudden and doing all, like, it's like, okay, once you fall for that shit, bro, then I kind of lose some credibility.
I
like the stuff he talks about.
I trust Candace there.
Bro, I feel like there's so many double agents right now playing the game that we can't tell who's who. They want us to be like, yo, I like that person. They're telling us the real. And then they tell us some shit, you know?
I think that, I mean,
what's this, Cody?
I said, you could go to bed. I'll clap your cheeks tomorrow.
Oh, to your wife? You didn't have to tell me that on here. I'll delete that for you.
What I was going to say, the people that, like the three people I trust the most in the conservative voices right now, Tucker, in no order, Tucker, Candace, and Charlie. I mean, those are the people I listen to. Those are the people I don't listen to Charlie that much anymore, but those are the people that I really do trust. I mean, outside of those guys, the people, there's conservatives who I think are like not, you know, not on the good
I like
side.
Charlie a lot, but I'll admit I got a question mark on him right now because of his allegiance to Israel. And Charlie's like a supreme debater, bro. You want to talk about an apologist? He's one of the best out there, but he gets stumbled up when people bring up the whole Israel thing and the quotes from the Talmud and all that stuff.
I've seen it,
bro. He gets fumbled up. He doesn't even know how to respond. In fact, he shuts it down.
I like Charlie too.
Charlie loves to continue to go and reiterate, but when those questions hit, he's like, "I'm done. Next person," because he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't have an argument to defend himself.
Ted couldn't answer it either.
They don't know how to defend their allegiance to Israel, and that throws me for a loop. I'm not against it. If there's I'm waiting for someone to give me the logical reason, not the Bible, because that's a bullshit reason, bro. It doesn't even work.
I don't think that the Bible's a bullshit reason. Like I used to not love that reason, but you know,
he's compromised, boys.
No, I'm not compromised.
We were talking about it last week, and the biggest thing that I dislike about, especially Ted Cruz saying the Bible quote, is like, dude, that's the one thing that you're gonna tie yourself to from the Bible.
Okay, Ted
you
Cruz,
do all these negative things, and you want to go and kill people in Iran. He literally was saying on that same podcast, he wants people to die.
But they all of a sudden their religious base is
Ted
Israel.
Cruz's reason was much different than when Charlie talks about it, because Ted Cruz was like, the Bible calls to defend Israel, and that's when I really like how Tucker said, what is Israel? And people were clowning him for saying that, but it's a really, really good question, because when you said, what is Israel? It was asking Ted Cruz, like, are you referring to the Israel that like was actually, when they refer to Israel in the Bible, that Israel, because that is not current day government Israel that the people work with. So there's a big
even the
difference
same bloodline.
between, no, exactly. There's a big difference between whether you think like Charlie and Ted Cruz having allegiance to Israel. There's a big difference in it being to like the holy land that is Israel and the actual, old, I don't even know the right
government.
Term, like, well, not even the government, but allegiance to the holy land of Israel from a biblical standpoint, and then the people who are like the ethnic Jews who have been around a long time, keeping like their heritage alive. Like that's what they're referring to. So when Tucker asked, "What is Israel? What are you referring to?" I mean, I don't like that Ted Cruz, he didn't have an answer for that, but it's because Ted Cruz is most likely referring to the government of Israel, which Tucker just drilled him on it, because why are we protecting the government of Israel? It makes no sense. It makes no sense that we protect the government of any country, like any country at all.
Agreed.
But, from a biblical standpoint, protecting the history of Israel, I mean, that's one thing I hear a lot of, like, that's what we're doing.
Why does that have to bring about Zionism and allegiance, though? You know what I mean? Like, bro, I love Jesus too.
Yeah.
I've read the Bible. I've studied theology. I've wanted to be an apologist, bro. I went deep into it. Like,
that's good.
I've never felt so compelled to be like, Israel's the Holy Land, and because it just doesn't exist like that anymore. And the Bible speaks that was lost a long time ago.
I'm not defending like when people talk about America, so think like this: we love America, the country. We love America, the people. We love the flag. I mean, none of us like the government of America. We like Trump. Or enough. You like Trump enough. You like people who are in the office with them, like whether it's Pete.
I don't like when Trump put a yarmulke on his head and went and prayed on the wall, though.
I don't even. I knew that.
And people of different religions do that. So like, I'm confused, right? Also, Israel, like the Jewish religion, they don't like Jesus like we like Jesus. They don't even believe in Jesus as the same, bro.
Rotting in, like,
so that's
shit.
So the Bible is a horrific excuse for our allegiance to them, bro, because they do not love the same God that we love. Jesus is Lord.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ is Lord. He is God. They do not love the same God that we love. So why is our allegiance to their government or anybody in that land the way it is in America right now, and at such a high level?
The governmental side of things, because I think that's.
But even the biblical side of it, religiously speaking, they don't see it. They don't see religion the same way we do. They don't see God the same way we do.
Well,
they don't believe Jesus was the Messiah, bro.
Jesus was a Jew.
Yeah, but he wasn't one of their Jews. He wasn't an Israelite. He was something else. I can't think of it right now.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of them. I don't know what the.
It was something different though, but the Jewish religion does not recognize Jesus as the Messiah. So to say that we are having allegiance to Israel because they are the promised land and all this stuff that was in the Bible, they don't exist. One of the other things from the Bible that Jesus says is, "I am the only way. There is no other way." And these people don't believe in him. So that religious argument is dead.
They don't. I think I might be wrong on this, but I don't think they have the same New Testament, because I know the Old Testament is like their book.
The Talmud is like a piece of yep.
So then I think what you're referring.
But it's
to
only
is
like the first. It's only like the first 5 or 6 books of the Old Testament, though.
Yeah.
But because of Jesus, they end it there. They don't speak of him like they don't believe he is the Messiah, bro. And that right there, you cannot say you have an allegiance to Israel as a nation, as the promised land, or any of that nonsense as your reasoning for holding an allegiance to them. It can't be biblical.
Well, when a country like America, you guys know, it's built on. Go ahead.
Hold on. We've talked about this before, but I just grokked it. I said, what Bible do the Jews in Israel use? Jews in Israel primarily use the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, which consists of 3 parts, the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, and the Nevi'im prophets, and the Ketuvim writings. I think that the Talmud is like an extreme.
The Talmud is like the Bible that they don't recognize. Like for Catholics,
it's like
the Apocrypha. The Catholics don't recognize the Apocrypha, which is 7 books that they don't acknowledge. Yeah. I think that's the same thing with the Talmud with the Jews. I think I'm not like super knowledgeable on like the whole Judaism, but I think that's.
I've been talking to a guy at the gym who is Jewish, and he reads this book, all of them, but he's telling me wild stories about their belief systems, and I'm not trying to knock it, but it's pretty crazy. He talks about how, Adam was half man, half woman. He was ivory. He was of no gender, and that Eve was actually the bad person, the devil. Satan, or what he calls Shaitan or Shaitan or something like that, is actually a good person in Israel's Bible, in the Jewish Bible, bro.
That must be the Talmud or whatever.
No, it's not the Talmud that he was telling me what it was. And he's talking to a rabbi locally and everything about this stuff. Like, I was tempted to bring this guy on, but I don't know how it would go with the rest of the table here.
I think you should do it. That'd be good.
I don't know.
It's not like you guys are.
I'll tell you guys off record why I feel that way, but
I think if you're already thinking that, it's probably not going to go over well.
But the dude knows what he's talking about. It's very extensive. He very much knows the Bible, and he speaks with a rabbi regularly.
Jews in Israel, following the Torah and traditional Jewish teachings.
The Torah, that's what it is, yeah.
Generally do not accept Jesus as the prophet, Messiah, or divine figure.
Yep.
Some view him as a historical figure or teacher.
They believe Muhammad is the prophet.
This is not a uniform belief and not derived.
Oh, no, that's Muslims.
These perspectives are consistent with Jewish theology and sources and practices observed in Israel.
But we know,
I don't know, man.
as Christians, which they all say as a Christian, Jesus is Lord. The Bible says if they deny his name, they don't believe they're false prophets. If they will not say Jesus Christ is Lord, they are false prophets.
Jordan Peterson.
I don't like Jordan Peterson.
He refuses to say Jesus is king.
I don't like Jordan Peterson at all. I saw him in Fargo when he came to the Shields Arena. I didn't like him at all. I don't like him. I like him even less now.
Fair enough.
Like Candace did a video on him, and maybe that's why I don't like him, because I'm a big Candace fan. But no, I don't really like him.
Yeah.
But what I was just gonna say, so the Jews are the closest thing to Christian of any other thing like any other religion in the world. They're closely related, and the country is built off of Christianity. And Christianity in this country, it's like that's rooted in Christianity.
Yep.
So from that perspective, maybe open your minds to thinking, why do we the next closest religion? Maybe that's why we protect them a little. Yeah, more peaceful. We protect them a little bit. Jesus was from Israel. The historical value of keeping Israel safe, keeping them around, it's from a Christian standpoint, it's what you would do, because you couldn't even be a leader in the 13 colonies back in the day in the United States unless you were Christian. And all the way through, it talks about God on our dollars. Trump swears in on a Bible.
Our world would be very peaceful if we were all Christians.
Exactly. So why not, you work with the people who are closest to our values, the only other people in the world who are similar values,
who are surrounded by people with opposite values.
Exactly, and they're being attacked by Muslims.
Of course, because they're in a land where there's no Christians. It's just Muslims.
So what do you do? What do you do then? What do you do?
I'm optimistic. I'm going to remain optimistic that in the next 2 weeks, how it's supposed to be, that the Saudis and the Egyptians are going to step up and actually take over and put this whole thing to bed and help the Palestinians rebuild and put the Hamas out of there and basically stayed
in Gaza. You're saying?
Yeah, that's going to happen.
All right.
Well, Gaza's gone.
Decimated.
Gaza's gone.
But,
it's gravel now.
Dude, fucking the Saudis have so much fucking money.
Yeah.
They have so much money.
Yep.
And they could turn that fucker into a goddamn resort if
into
they
a Trump
Gaza
overnight.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic that happens and we can just fucking stop this.
I mean, at the end of the day, I still don't understand why people like Benjamin Netanyahu. He's like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Honestly, I think a lot of people have woken up about the idea of that he's just not
Trump.
Not Trump.
His entire cabinet.
Like I said, I don't like everything Trump does either, like the fucking vaccine.
Ted Cruz loves him, obviously.
He's got to get off the vaccine, which he did. And this whole fucking BB thing,
so look, let's end it on this right here, because as a Christian, this is what your Bible tells you. If Paul declares, if we deny him, he also will deny us. Paul simply echoing the statement of Jesus in Matthew 10:32 and 33. Everyone therefore who shall confess me before men, I will also confess him before my Father who is in heaven. So if we deny him, he will also deny us. Israel denies Christ. They deny him. He is not the Messiah. They don't believe in him the way that everyone else believes in him. So how is a Christian going to stand there and be like, oh, we have to protect them at all cost? We have to hold an allegiance to them. I'm just saying there's probably a better reason, but that's not the one, bro. Using your Christianity as the reason why we have an allegiance to Israel is dead in the water, in my opinion. And I'm no scholar. I'm no real apologist. I don't know any of this stuff, bro. Like, there's people who can come in here and make me look like a fucking idiot when it comes to this stuff. I promise you that. But based on our basic understanding and them just simply saying because we're Christians and because the Bible says is a bullshit argument. Because if the Bible says, then you got to listen to everything the Bible says. And he clearly states that if we deny him, he will deny us. Well, Israel denies him, so God is denying them now. Are we going to go against God's a record and protect them when he says that they deserve to be punished? I don't know. We'll leave that up to the people. Go ahead and give us a comment to get into this conversation. Let's hear what you guys have to say. I don't claim to know it all. I could be way off base here. We all could. But at the end of the day, it's a good discussion. And I'm still very curious as to why we have an allegiance to Israel the way we do. And I want to hear a good reason why. I'm not against it if the argument makes sense. The greatest ally is bullshit too. They're not our greatest ally. They abuse us more than any other ally we have. So case in point.
Get that.
If we have a logical reason, I just want to know it so I can get on board and have an allegiance to them too. I want to be a Zionist if it's appropriate to be so. So let's make it happen. Anyways,
back to you on that.
Yeah, appreciate you guys checking us out. Sorry we haven't released an episode in a couple of weeks. We've had a lot of technical difficulties, but we got new equipment, and I hope things go better from here on out with this particular episode especially. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share the channel. Tell your friends about us. Don't tell your friends about us. Talk good, talk bad. It does not really matter as long as you are talking about us. Peace.